What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Vending channel. As you can see behind me, we're going to continue building on our 50-ton hydraulic sheet metal brake. As you can see, we went ahead, I installed a little bit of a header piece out of just sheet metal. We have the rams in place and we have some hydraulic lines hooked up. Everything's up, plugged it in, everything works fine. I'll give you a little rundown of how, hopefully this working and bending, I'm hoping. We're going to move this out of the way soon. I have a couple plates I need to make up, and then we're going to dismantle this. It has three 20-ton air over hydraulic jacks. We're going to be dismantling that and using the 50-inch finger brake from the Swag off-road kit, and we're going to be converting it and putting it here. So that's the gist of today's video. Here we are behind the hydraulic press brake. As you can see, we have all half-inch lines, brand new lines. We came up around, went into a 90. These are ORB fittings with, I believe they're JCIM. I'm not too up on hydraulics. This is actually the first bit of hydraulic work I've ever done, but this is kind of like a proportioning valve, I want to call it. Your fluid goes in here and it keeps equal pressure between your two rams. So as you're bending a bit of plate right here, let's say, obviously this is going to be under more pressure than this one would be with, you know, bending nothing. It's going to keep them in unison as it comes down. So I think that is definitely a must for this. As you can see, we used a couple 45s, came up with these two hoses. Now these two hoses are kind of tight together, but they're not rubbing on the back, and they're not going to be chafing where this is just stationary cylinders. So going to try my luck with that. Furthermore, we come over here, we have our control valve up and down. Comes as a single phase 220 motor, runs to an 8.6 gallons per minute pump. What I do find with this setup right now, it's very slow, but the reason I went with this pump is that in order to get my full 50 tons out of these cylinders, it was recommended to go with 3600 psi, which is what these cylinders are rated at. The more gallons per minute that I would flow, it seemed like my psi was dropping on the spreadsheets. So although it's a little bit slow, I'll be able to use my full capacity if I need the full 50 tons, which we're going to find out eventually. If, you know, to bend a quarter plate, if I need a full 50 tons, you may need 30 tons, etc., etc. This is kind of trial and error, but we're going to go with that pump for now. As you can see, we go into our filter. This is our return line going back in. That filters all the junk out, which hopefully there isn't much because it's a fairly new build. Other than that, we'll come around here. Like you say, we have this header beam put in. This is just to tie everything together. I actually did, as I mentioned in the other videos, I had to actually drop that beam about 7 inches. So that's pretty much going to be a wrap for the frame. I do have to build a couple more pieces of plate because all this is kind of just laid in preliminary here now, because I really wanted to see if there was any leaks or if there was any, you know, if it would even work, of course. But we're going to start with that. I'm going to make a plate here and perhaps mount this tank a little bit better. Then we're going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to start dismantling this because we are going to be using the 50-inch Swag off-road kit. We're going to be taking that and putting it here. I also went ahead and cut this. This is 1.25 inch flat bar. And we're actually going to take that and I'm going to lay it on its edge here, and I'll show you the reason of that when I get into it and we kind of start building. So I might as well take the opportunity right now to give you a rundown on what this machine is. This is a sheet metal shear, and what this does is that you just put your sheet metal in here, and it's a big shear and a big arm that comes down and it will just cut your sheet metal. This machine is actually good for a 1/4 inch thick plate over 6 feet. So you can put a full 6-foot piece of quarter plate in here and it will cut it right out. Really great machine. It takes a lot of grinding away, really clean edge every time. So I actually need to make a little bit of a plate for that motor to sit on, which is 7 inches by 8 inches. So I'll kind of just show you how quick and easy it is. This piece right here is actually straight edge. So if you wanted to just mark, you know, your 8 inches, put it up against that, that's going to cut off square because it's in square with the Shear tool set itself. But I always like to put a line on it. Just square a line, at least you know what you have. And you put this in, and as this is going to come down, this piece here will come down, pinch that plate against it, and this piece in here will actually shear it. So we are... So I'll turn it on. It's a little bit loud. Remember, this is normally it takes a while for the motor to come up. Just get the rotation locked in. So I actually went ahead, guys, and just stitched that plate on. It was an 8x7 inch plate that we cut on the shears. I put a few holes into it and mounted it down. What I actually did, I had some of this little bit of rubber, 1/8 thick rubber around, and I put that in between the mounting plate of my motor and the plate that we just made on the shear. Not really sure if it's going to do much. May just take a little bit of vibration, maybe some resonance out of it, and maybe it won't just vibrate through the machine as much. That's my theory behind it. Maybe absolutely pointless, but it's there now. I guess before I actually take everything apart, I may as well just show you how this is set up, because if you guys want to get into this as like hobbyist, or you know, if you want to just have something in your garage to play with and bend plates for, I don't know, your Jeep builds or anything, this is an absolutely amazing setup. It's relatively inexpensive, and this is probably the way to go. For myself, where I've been doing more and more runs on the bender, I just need to kind of upgrade. Like I've said previously, this is just 20-ton air hydraulic bottle jacks. These are big red brands. There's 3 of them. So I guess you can equate that to being 60 tons of pressure. I don't really believe that, but someone smarter than me can definitely chime in and school me on it. That's fine. But how we have that set up, I just have one line with this on-off switch. You come around the back. As you can see, I just teed it into the middle and just cut the rubber lines, rubber hose, teed it in here. And that's worked so well, I must say. It's just, as this machine is going down now, I kind of neglected it, if I'm being quite honest with you. Like, I didn't really oil them as much, but I do have a clip that I'm going to show you guys of me using this. I actually bent this bracket here with it. This is 3/16. And you'll get to see what I'm kind of talking about. It's a little bit slow. You kind of have to keep adjusting everything. If you're bending something right here, this jack might come down faster than that jack. And when you're bending right here, you know, this side, let's just say if you have a 2-foot, over here might go 90, over here might only be like 88 or 87. Then you got to back this one off and then play around. And when you're doing a run, it's something you don't really want to be keep messing with. You know, it takes time. But anyone that's like a hobbyist in the garage, like, that's the setup to have right there. I really recommend that. So that's how I have that set up. So what I'm going to do, these are 19mm bolts. I'm going to take all those tool sets off because they are quite a bit heavy, a little bit less weight on me to slug around. But I'm going to remove those bottle jacks. I'll take that and we're going to lay that there. Going to clean this area up a little bit, probably with a wire wheel. as you can see, you can kind of get a better look now how it's a two-piece system. We have these just round stock here, slides down over with these pieces of tubing. Kind of keeps everything straight. As I'm looking at it, I may have pulled a little bit, not really sure. I may have played with that a little bit to try to keep that straight a bit. But I'm going to cut these plates off that I had for the mounting points on my air over hydraulic rams. And that's where that older piece of flat bar comes in. I'm going to weld that right along here. It's going to give that a little bit more stiffness, a little bit more rigidity, but the main reason I'm doing that is to keep my hydraulic cylinders up out of harm's way. If you, let's just say you bend a 90 that's 2 feet and then you put it in again and then you bend another 90 that's at 3 feet away from the previous bend, that 90 that you just bent, that 2-foot piece, might come up and want to strike into your hydraulic cylinders, dent your cylinders, and then you're going to tear the seal out of your cylinders. So I'm just trying to keep my cylinders up out of harm's way as much as I can. Along with that, like I say, it's going to add a little bit of rigidity to that. We went ahead, we got everything in place. This is what I was talking about, this 1.25 inch plate on edge. This is going to add a bit of rigidity to this, and in turn my rams won't have to come down so far. Also, the big reason that I've done this is that it keeps your cylinders 4 inches up out of the way of harm's way. If you nick these cylinders with a piece of plate that you're bending, and you'll tear out your seal, of course, and then you ruin your cylinder. Well, it'll need a rebuild, exactly. But that's pretty much the setup there. That's going to be excellent. I think it's going to work really well. The next thing we're going to do is I actually went over to the horizontal bandsaw and we cut out a couple sleeves. Now these sleeves, we're going to slide up over like this. We have a little bit of adjustment here, so I'm going to call this piece a little bit of a sacrificial piece. So what my plan is, we're going to put that there, and I'm going to put a couple of set screws on each side, and we're going to weld this. As you can see, we blew it out on the CNC table. These are 2 3/4 diameter, just rings that I can get this nice weld around here. And that's not going to have any pressure on it downwards. There won't be any pressure on the set screws. That's just going to be so when the rams are coming back up, that's going to take that up with it. And because right now where I've added this extra bit of weight right here, you can also see that my tool set is actually down inside my angle. So once I get all the rest of the tool set, which is going to be like another 50, 60, 70 pounds, it's going to be pretty slammed. So we're going to have to move this up and down with the hydraulic cylinders. So I'm going to go ahead, start fabbing on that, and I think that'll work out fine. So that seems to work out fine, guys. Very quick, very easy way to do that. I still need to weld under here, but once again, there's no down pressure on this, so that's just to lift this tool set up. Worked out really great. I think that's very simple, very easy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna load all this up with the tool set. And I think what I might try is bring it down to quite a bit of pressure and probably put the level on it just to see. For some reason, I'm thinking this is bowed just a little bit in the middle, which will kind of throw everything out the launch. But yeah, worked out great so far. Alright guys, so it's actually the next day, and as you can see behind me, we have the press brake put in place. I kind of have a confession to make. One of my buddies dropped by, wasn't too big on being on film, so I was way more stoked to get the extra hands, so it was a sacrifice I was willing to make just to get the extra hands for this. All this stuff right here is very heavy, and to kind of line everything up, measure your distances front and back, and to square everything up, I was way more happy to get that extra set of hands than, you know, probably embarrassing them a little bit on film. But you guys didn't really miss much. We just kind of welded this out a little bit more solid. We leveled our rams as much as we could. And the only big thing you guys actually missed was adding this channel. So this channel is on front and back, and what this is trying to prevent is that where our pivot point is up top, and we'll be pushing here, and our piece of plate will be here. I figured that if it came to a point that it wouldn't bend the piece of plate, the weakest point would probably be down here, and these rams would kind of want to kick out or kick back, especially if they were leveled, well, off level, one way or the other, even a degree. I think that would really screw us. So that's pretty much all we've done. We've shortened up a few bolts, we cleaned it up a little bit, so you guys didn't miss a whole lot. Before I actually show you what this thing can do, we have a lot of real estate up here, and it's kind of naked. So an idea kind of popped to me last night, and I think I might cut something out on the CNC table and put it up here just to be a little bit funny, just to have a little bit of a theme going with it. What do you guys think? I thought that'd be a cool mascot for this machine, seeing it's a press brake. We bend metal with it. Hopefully I don't get sued with copyright infringement or anything like that. It's just something that I really enjoy that show, but you know, it'd be cool, no lawsuits. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys what the bending capabilities of this machine is now. I have a piece of 1/8 here. It's roughly around 40 inches. And we have a piece of plate that's 3/16, that's a full 48 inches. And I don't have a 1/4 inch plate kicking around, so I have a piece down here that's it's 1/4 inch, and it's roughly around 18 to 20 inches long. I'll show you how that bends that. And yeah, we'll go ahead, I'll fire up. So guys, of course I bent all that material just then, and my camera wasn't on. I'm going to give you guys another rundown. I don't want to waste too much material. I don't give you material prices today. But this is 1/8. And I'll bend up a couple pieces of plate just to show you guys. I really don't like standing in front of this thing just because, you know, it does produce quite a bit of pressure here. And this still is kind of a weak point in my eyes that it could still flip out. Might be very unlikely, but I don't want to be in front of it. As you can see, there's hardly any sound difference in the motor. Like, there's not much that's struggling. And if you keep going, that will actually bend over 90. But I actually have a 1/4 piece of plate there that I'll show you guys as well that will bend. And just show you how easy it actually is. So as you can see, a little bit less than 90, but it came out really well. This is actually the 3/16 piece that you guys didn't get to see. That's a full 48 inch bend. And this is a quarter piece that I've been in the other video before saying it wasn't on. See now this lip is going to, so it only blows so far. So it kind of gives you an idea of how powerful the machine is and what the capabilities are. Really great that I built it. It's miles ahead of the other machine that I had. Comes down very straight. That's a great bender now in a quarter piece. Usually on some brakes and the other brake I had, sometimes I get a little bit of a, I don't know, I guess you would call it a wow in the center, and it wouldn't really bend it. But at the same time, my two outside rams used to be down solid, so there wasn't really much I could do about it. That's going to be a wrap for our 50-ton sheet metal brake build. As you can see, the bend stuff, no problem whatsoever. Still learning the capabilities of this machine because you can put a 1/4 inch piece of plate there, and it seems like it'll bend it. It doesn't affect what you put in here. It seems like there's going to be another fail point. If it can't bend it here, it's going to bend something else. And it seems like it's going to do it with very little effort. As you're coming with your control valve and the cylinders are coming down, there's hardly any sound change. So I'm definitely going to have to set up a gauge. Let me know what PSI I'm running, and that's probably going to be a better way to tell me how much tonnage and how much output I'm actually doing. A few other things I need to change. I want to put a plate down here and on the back to protect all my hydraulic system. If you drop a piece of plate or something from this height and take out a fitting, it will sure ruin your day. The other thing that I need is a switch in my electric cable for my electric motor. I'm way too extra with plugging things in and taking and unplugging it when I don't need it. Not going at it. Other than that, guys, I think I did kind of overbuild this quite a bit because I don't think I need two 50-ton rams. To be quite honest with you, you could have probably got away with one, but over 50 inches, I figured it would be way better, way more uniform outcome with two separate points. But other than that, guys, that's going to be a wrap for that. Let me know if you have any questions, if you wanted me to do a full price breakdown of this. I will for sure do a video on that if you guys really want it. If you have any questions, let me know. Like, comment, share, let your buddies know, do what you got to do. And I hugely appreciate any of that. But thanks for watching. That's going to be a wrap for this, and I'll see you in the next build.